Alright, so now we are going to continue playing with array and object using what it's called a spread operator. So it's called spread operator. So let's define an array. The first one, let's call it boys. We are defining an array like that, and let's define two boys here, Dylan and Keith, for example. Okay, and let's define two girls named Mary and Martha, like so. Now, if I want to combine the boys and girls together, let's name it students. I can do with a spread operator. So a spread operator starts with three dots, dot, 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 right? Boys, oops, and then dot, 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 girls. So that's how you combine it. So now students will consist of boys and girls, which is Dylan, Keith, Mary, and Martha. So if I console.log students, right, and save that, flip back here, if I refresh, now we have Dylan, Keith, Mary, and Martha. That's a pretty quick way to do it. You can also use a concat method to add arrays together, but this is way more easier and quicker to do. Okay, so you can also add a student, right? So if after I console.log, now I want to add more students. Okay, how to do that is students equals, let's add another one. So dot, 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 students, right, comma, let's add a new boy, Kirk, Captain Kirk. And also you can do it, this is defining the order of the array as well. So Kirk will be at the end. So if I now also add who else? Gwen and dot, 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 students. Now Gwen will be in the beginning of the array. Copy that and I paste that, and we can log. This is after adding Kirk or Gwen, right? Like that. Let's save that. And now if I refresh this, boom. So after adding Gwen, we have Gwen, Dylan, Keith, Mary, Martha, and Kirk. So Kirk is in the end, and Gwen is at the first index, right? Because we put Gwen at the first and then Kirk at the end. So that's how you use spread operator to add arrays together or add new elements to the array. Please repeat this on your own, type it on, and try on your own on your computer. Okay. So moving on, we can also do spread operator with object. Okay. So for example, we want to combine two objects together. So let's say the first object, we want to name it a house object. So let house, okay, is object is encapsulated or surrounded by the curly brackets there. Okay, let house, let's say the bedroom, is 4 bedroom. The bathroom is 2 bathroom. And then we also define a land object. The land, right? Maybe the size is a string 4 acres or 5 acres. And then what else? What else when we define a house? Let's say zoning. The zoning for the house is residential, for houses only, right? Now, say we want to combine these two objects. One is a house object, the second is a land object. Or let's say the owner of the house, right? The owner of the house is Jimmy, and also the owner of the land is also Jimmy. Now I want to combine the house and the land object and name it what? Property. Let property equals, and you do that because it's an object, right? Dot 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 house, add it together with dot 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 land. So now if I console.log property, and I'm going to go flip here and refresh, boom. So on the property object, we have the bathroom, the bedroom, the owner is the same, Jimmy, the size is 5 acres, the size of the land, the zoning is residential. So it's combining the two objects together and adding the properties together. But as you can see, the owner is both Jimmy, right? The property owner of the house is Jimmy, and the property owner of the land is also Jimmy. Now it's a bit confusing because this is a property and this is a property, right? Anyways, if I change this to Jack, the owner will become Jack because it comes after you combine it, and it comes the latest addition will have the value of the property owner there, Jack. So if I refresh there, see, the owner becomes Jack because it has the same property name. It's both owner. So be careful when you're doing that and you're combining objects together when you're developing in the LWC later. Unless I say this as house owner, right? And this is not house owner. Oh yeah, and this is land owner, right? If I do that, put underscore in it like so, and if I flip back after it's saved there, it's still trying to save. Come on. Okay, flip back. Oop. Oh, made a mistake there. Flip back again. What did I do? Land owner, house owner. Oh, I put that thing there. My apologies. Now if I refresh this, there. So we have house owner Jimmy, land owner Jack. So what's the point? The point is, if you have two objects and the property of the object is the same name, right? The right hand side or the latest one that you add to the object will be the winner, or the value from there will be taken. Like Jack here will have the property owner. Okay, so let that sink in a bit before we move on. So for example, another example so you can get it. So let's add price. So if I add price here, okay, price is house 100,000, and the price of the land is 200,000, right? And we combine that, the property price will be the price of the land, because this is both the same name and is combined. This will be the winner. This will be lost in the translation, in the adding. This is gone. So if I save that and I flip back here and I refresh and I click there, now you see the price is 200,000, right? What happened to when the 100,000 is gone? Because the winner is the latest one, the latest that on the far right hand, right? So if I add another one, let, for example, bonus car. If you buy this, you get a bonus car, right? And the price of the bonus car is how much? 75,000, right? And you want to add this to the mix, and you add ... bonus car. So what would be the price value of this property? It will be 75,000, because the bonus car is the far right one. This will be the winner, because this has the same property. Price, property name, price, price, price. So the JavaScript will choose the latest one, which is the property of the bonus car, which is this 75,000. Okay, if I flip back and I refresh and I give you the value, see, the price is 75,000. So be careful when you're adding that together, unless you wanna say house price, this is land price, this is car price. It has different property name now, right? Now it's adding it together correctly. There, car price, house price is not overwriting each other. If you don't do that, it's going to overwrite, okay? So the latest one that you add on the far right is going to be the winner and has the value of that property. Okay, if that's a bit confusing, repeat this segment, this section, a couple of times until you get it. That is important. Okay, before we move on to the next subject. Alright, so up next, I'm going to show you on how we can use spread operator to copy arrays safely. What do I mean by safely? So if we are not using the spread operator, which is the ... notation there, for example, I'm gonna add let boys, not let boys, let's say let English class So this will be the student names attending the English class, okay? And let's say the name is Bob and Rob. So this is English class, and the school says everybody who attends the English class will have to go also to the, I don't know, to the literature class. So let literature class, right? So we want to copy it. I don't want to type Bob and Rob again, right? What if we have 100 students and not just Bob and Rob? So if the school says all students attending the English class should also go to the literature class, I just want to say equals English class. Makes sense, right? So now if I console.log, right, and I'm going to say English class contains the English class array, okay, and console.log literature class is the literature class students there. So this should be what? This should be the same, right? Right? Because the English class is Bob and Rob, and then we say the literature class is the English class, so it's the same. So these two will print out the same, which it is. So I'm gonna refresh this. So English Bob and Rob, literature Bob and Rob. We're happy, right? Now, if I now say I want to add somebody to the literature class, okay? So I'm going to say literature class dot push this new student. Her name is Jane. Okay? So what do you say? What do you think it will happen? Who will be in the English class? Is it Bob and Rob? It's supposed to be just Bob and Rob, and the literature, right? We'll have Jane in the end. Bob, Rob, and Jane. But we'll see what's happening here. Is it what we are expecting to do? Saving. Come on, Salesforce. Sometimes it's taking so long to save. Okay, now we flip back here, and I'm going to refresh. What happened? So English is Bob, Rob, and Jane. Literature is also Bob, Rob, and Jane. That's not supposed to be that way, because we are just adding the literature Jane. We don't want Jane in the English class. So that is what happens when you copy an array like so, like this, right? Because when you do this line, literature class is actually pointing to this. It's a pointer or a reference. It's just pointing to the English class physical, so to speak, physical existence. It's just pointing, like pointing a finger. Oh, literature class is the same as English class. But when you modify the English class, right, literature class is also modified, and the other way around. If you modify literature class like we are doing, English class gets modified as well, because it's pointing to the same thing. So, this is good or bad? This is bad. We don't want to do that. That's bad, right? So, we don't want to do that. So how do we use the spread operator to fix this situation? We don't have to delete the whole thing. So to do that, we don't want to do that, right? What we want to do, instead of doing that, we are doing the dot 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 notation, like so. Dot dot dot. Meaning, we actually create a whole new array instead of just pointing or referencing to the existing one. We create a new one, right, with an actual value of the English class. Now, if we use dot dot dot, and then we say we push the literature class with Jane, now we're getting it. Now we're going to be having a different values. Jane will only be on the literature class because we're copying it like so. We use the dot 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 notation, meaning just get the value of it. Now if I refresh, boom. So English, Bob and Rob, but literature, Bob, Rob, and Jane. So the dot 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 operator helps us in that way. Another example, we can also add it right away, like if I get a new one, a new class, let English advanced class equals, right, dot 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 English class, comma, a new student, right? Whatever. Romeo. So now if I console.log and say this one in English Advanced is this one, English Advanced class. Now this one will have Romeo in the end, right? And if I add it again like so, I'm gonna add Juliet now. So dot dot dot, or let's add Juliet. The same array. Like so. Now we're going to have Romeo in the end and Juliet in the front. For this same array, we're adding it 2 more students. Okay? So if I refresh that, there you go. So English Advanced, we have Juliet, Bob, Rob, and Romeo. Now we're talking, right? So when you want to copy an array to a new array and then play with the new array, use the spread operator. Okay, don't just reference it. Otherwise, you will have a messy code. Okay, remember that. So if this is a bit confusing as well, please repeat again, and you have to type with your own 10 fingers these things that we're talking about. Otherwise, you will forget it. You have to type it, type it, type it, type it. Okay? You have to type it if you want to remember this. Alright? So, moving on. We can also play around with the object, or even a more complex data type. What if an array of objects? So, for example, I have, let's say, let grade 4 students, okay, grade 4 2020. So the grade 4 array of students is equal, has objects, which is the students. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. So this first object, or the first student name, is Liam, for example, grade 4. All right. So next student name, Rina, grade also 4. So this is an array of objects. Okay, this is an array, and inside the array there is 2 objects there. Objects. So now I want to say, let's define grade 5 2021. Oh, not 2021. Grade 5 for the 2021 year. So this would be the same 2 students, right? So I just want to do the dot 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 notation. Okay, so I'm going to say dot 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 grade 4 2021, right? So this will say grade 5, not grade 4 2021, 2020. So this will, we want to copy this whole value here to grade 5 2021. Okay, well, this looks good if you just console log it, like grade 4 2020, and then console grade 5 2021. You know what? Let's use underscore. That doesn't look good. Yep, we have to use underscore there. We don't want a minus, right? It's not a minus. So grade 5 2021. So to differentiate this so we're not confused, let's type grade 4 and then plus, and then here grade 5 plus. Now I'm going to save it. So this will have the exact same value as you can see. So, oh, it's saying object. Okay, wrong way to do this. Let's flip back. So let's not console.log it first. Let's pretend. Okay, let's do it this way. Console.log. Okay. Grade 4 2020. Okay. The first one, or the first one like that, dot name. Let's do that. And let's do the second one, dot grade. So this will pick up who? Liam, grade 4, because this is the first object, right? So let's do that. If I refresh, Liam, grade 4. Okay, so now if I copy the same thing, now I use the grade 5. Oops, wrong place. This will also print Liam grade 5, right? Oh, grade 4. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Now we want to set this one to grade 5. So how do you set this? So this one here is supposed to be grade 5, but we haven't set that, right? We haven't set that yet, right? We're just copying it. And now before we actually console log, I want to also say this one, I want to set it first, is 5, right? Not 4. So I want to set Liam for the 2021 to grade 5. I hope you're not confused. Are you tracking with me? Follow me? So this, when we are setting the first index of the array, which is Liam, but for the 2021 array, this one, which we just copied from grade 4 2020, we want to set the grade to 5, okay? Which we just did, and see what happened here. It works fine. So Liam now grade 5, right? Okay, but if after we set this, we print the same thing here, okay? So console.log, I'm going to say after grade 5 is set, now this should say the same thing. This should say the same thing as this. That's what we expect, right? But it's not. So if I refresh this, it's 5. It's changing the value again. So this whole spread operator copying will not work. I repeat, will not work if it's a complex data type like that, like an array of object, because it will keep the reference. It keep referencing. So when you change this grade 5, right? This one, you set the grade, oh no, here, this one, when you set the grade here, this is also changing the grade 4. the grade 4 object. This is also changing to grade 5 and grade 5. Therefore, you can't use the spread operator. This is the point. If you're lost somewhere, so the point is you can't use the spread operator to copy, like so, to copy when it's a complex data type with objects in the array. It will create a reference instead of copying the value, right? So just remember that. There is a workaround to do that using JSON stringify, but let's talk about that on another subject or another video. Okay, so please repeat this section again and follow along. But if you're still a bit confused, the point I want to deliver for this particular one is don't use the spread operator to copy a complex data type of array of objects like this. It's an array, but it contains object, because when you copy it like that, it will not do the shallow copy. It will keep the reference, the pointer. So if you change grade 4, it will affect grade 5. If you change grade 5, it will affect grade 4. That's not good. So we don't want to use that, okay, in this complex data type of array of objects. That's basically it. That's the foundation. Before we move on, please do repeat this video a few times until you really get it. Really get it. Don't just skip along. You will have a mess in your code when developing LWC later, when you don't get this foundation right. Cement this in your brain. Make sure you get it. Bada bing, bada. Hit that subscribe button and explore new Trailhead grounds and learn to implement the most useful and popular apps on the Salesforce App Exchange. And do yourself a favor, like this video, and you'll be surprised on how much more you understand when watching this same video after liking it. Don't take my word. Watch this one more time after you like the video and see it for yourself. Bada bing, bada boom.